All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. This is Cobbs back with the Parlay Parlor. It is Saturday, February 7th, and we have another slate of NBA games. And I'm going to give you four of my favorite props of today, along with some data and insights to hopefully go along with it. Let's have a brief recap of last night. Let's scroll all the way down. Oh, well, I guess I didn't have enough fields to not show. But last night we went 3-1, unfortunately. Um, Unfortunate after, as you can see, a very strong Thursday where we went three with the void. Um, Three losses. Looking back on it now, I mean, the three reads were pretty bad where they lost. Again, I think the narrative is I did say at the start of last video, I tend to not do strong when I pick props from the same game, but those tend to be the same players. Let's try opposing teams. It looks like I'm not capable of picking props from the same game. In the case of Davion Mitchell, we got hooked. He ended up with exactly 2 rebounds and 6 assists. So if you had decided to take maybe a water down on a 6.5 assist, you would have cashed. But in any case, in the rebounds department and the assist department, he couldn't get over the hump in either one. And the notion was if he can get over in one, he would do just enough in the other. But the pace was relatively slow. I mean, it was back and forth. Miami was up, Boston came back, and then they pulled through. And in the case of Jaylen Brown, I mean, he was too short of the 11 rebounds and assists that we needed from him. The idea was Vucevic was going to be kind of a de facto Porzingis replacement. I was completely wrong in that. I mean, he was a stronger rebounder. He had a double double. He had 12 rebounds, and I think 20 points or 19 points at least when I last checked. But I just clocked out after I saw that he soared over the 7 rebounds line for Vucevic, and Jaylen Brown ended up with only 7 rebounds and only 2 assists, but 7 rebounds. So he would have gone over in the 6.5 rebounds. And it Yves Misi, probably the worst one, I assume, because it was the bench. It would be a tough matchup for Derek Queen. I mean, I guess granted, the Timberwolves were up for a very long time in this game and they choked in the fourth quarter. But Derek Queen, I think he got a double double, or at least he went over his rebounds line. He had 7, or I definitely saw he had 9 rebounds at one point. Yves Misi, he only got 4 rebounds. His points and rebounds, he only got 2 points. So in terms of points and rebounds, both of those would have chalked, unfortunately. The only saving grace was the Timberwolves. Was the Trailblazers first half spread. Um, that was unfortunately looking scary initially. I mean, the Grizzlies came through, and I think they were up like 33-18 at the at the end of the first quarter. But Trailblazers brought back to cover the first half spread and the full game spread. Luckily enough, I was able to get that. I played it straight. That wouldn't have done me much in profit anyway. But 1-3 night after a 3-1 night. But across the week, we are now 12-11, 12-11-1. Still in the profit. We would love to have a little bit more green across this chart. But if you go across last week too, I mean, it was a rough end to last week. We still had a strong start. I mean, if you add it all up, we are still a combined 26 to and 19. I mean, if like I said, we do want to get more green and consistent green. But if you do play these as straights, I do try to give them as fair value as possible. And again, when you do need to parlay them for lesser odds, I will advise you on those spots or tell you where you might want to take the risk on a higher line for them. In any case, we have poor props today. Let's get started. We're going to go back to the Spurs and Mavericks. Not a back to back, but they are facing each other again. It is Saturday, so they've had essentially a day and a half's rest. We are going to go for Devin Vassell. I'm taking him for rebounds and assists at 6. You can get this right now at fairly priced on FanDuel. Other books don't have it yet. BetMGM, which I don't necessarily like to use for personal reasons. You get it at 6.5, but right now FanDuel at 5.5. I love this line. Primarily in point because one, we do have De'Aaron Fox. He is questionable with a back spasm. It is possible that he could suit up still in play, but if not, I would assume that one of Dylan Harper would probably suit up at that point guard position, or as you can see in the projected starting lineups, um, Stephon Castle did not start last game. He came off the bench, but that was still credit to us who needed his points and assists. He was very efficient and cashed us through. I did initially want to lean for that again. It still is at 22 and a half, 23 and a half, depending on the book you can get it on for Stephen Castle. I just don't want to take the risk on another efficient night coming off the bench. I mean, he shot 50% and he got 5 assists. Um 18 points and like 5 assists. I think the kid to cash us through. 19 points, sorry. Um So I am trying to take maybe the lesser of the two evils. Yes, he's coming off the bench now, but why is that? One, Devin Vassell is back in the lineup. He has seen essential minutes again, and yes, Castle does have some efficiency problems. But funny enough, very last game he popped off. But we're seeing Vassell. I mean, let me reset the filter that I was looking at. He has recently come back. His minutes are coming back to those mid to high 20s. You can see earlier he was getting low 30s when he was fully back to form. This is his sixth game back, seventh game back, so it is possible that he could potentially more, he could see even more minutes now. But the first filter that I had is I just played at just 25 minutes. This goes up to a 70% hit rate across the season. I mean, last 5 games, 75% hit rate. I pumped it up to even 25%, 28 minutes. Still goes up to 72% hit rate across the season. Bumps up last 5, 80, last 20, 75%, and 9 out of the last 10 games. If we reset it, if De'Aaron Fox is out, this bump soars up to 78% alone without this. And then if we put in the filters of him playing at least 25, 26 minutes without De'Aaron Fox, this is just a no-brainer. I see this going up to 6.5 like BetMGM has it. I wouldn't be surprised if De'Aaron Fox ends up going out. This goes to 6.5. I initially started this off with wanting to just go for his rebounds. It's at 4. With him back in the lineup, him and Champagny are getting those weak-sided. Him, Champagny, and Barnes are kind of sharing the responsibility again. Those weak-sided rebounds from Wemby being occupied with 1 to 2 defenders. 4, it's a low threshold. And he sees the rebound chances for it, and the same idea is in terms of the minutes that he's going to get. I love it. Points and rebounds as well, because he is a spotty shooter, but he does see the volume and shots you want to take. But then when the questionable tag came up for De'Aaron Fox, and I saw that this didn't even go up to 6.5. Assist line is still 2.5, I think. Yeah, it's still plus 138. I am perfectly fine with taking the risk and add 5.5 rebounds and assists, because honestly, I can see his rebounds going up to 4.5 by the time this closes. Before this game tips off at around 6:10, I can see rebounds going up. If De'Aaron Fox is out, I see rebounds going up. I can see assist opportunities going up. If you look at props madness, when we just look at the position side, Vassell will be playing kind of that de facto guard, small forward role. Dallas Mavericks aren't that good at defending rebounds, nor are they a middling defensive assist to that position. When we look at favorable matchups, Vassell is hidden at this in 16 out of 19 games this season. I decided to see if it was a challenging matchup. 5 out of 9 games, yes, he was out for a long period of time. Games he doesn't get it, these are blowouts, or they're games that are close and he doesn't play the role. And it's just a different script for him. This is a Texas versus Texas matchup. I don't want to go too narrative based, but if we look at assist allowed, challenging matchup, hard matchup, the volume is just there. The fact that Fox might be out, when we look at it without Fox this season, only 9 games, small sample size, but still 7 out of 9 games. Nets blowout, relative blowout, and then blowout against the Suns. I mean, 6 rebounds and assists. I know after going 0-2 on rebounds and assist props yesterday, you might be apprehensive taking this. I'm not that apprehensive, to be honest with you. This could just be me trying to bang the drum and get back, but at the same time, this just seems like too low of a number. I do understand in terms of facilitation. Yes, the Spurs would probably have the likes of Castle, Dylan Harper, but at the same time, this is a not a back to back, but this is another matchup again. I do see it having the same intensity, same rebound opportunities. I mean, if we look at the very when he just played, he got 7 rebounds and 3 assists. I mean, this line is going to close at 6.5. I'm going to try to get this video out early today. Six rebounds and assists is perfectly fine. If you did want to counter and take 4 rebounds right now, that's perfectly fine. Points and rebounds, maybe not as much now, just because these two just seem so much more advantageous. Let's go over to our next prop of today. We are going to go back to a old reliable from Thursday. We're going to go with Anthony Black, points and assist. It has bumped up now from 20.5 to 21.5. Comparably so. I mean, again, another soft matchup. We have a Utah Jazz team that defends the second worst and the third worst and the second worst. This team to defend it points and assists the shooting guard position. I forgot to mention the matchup for Vassell in terms of if he plays a small forward or a shooting guard. It's very comparative. We have a bottom 10 defense for rebounds and assists from the Mavericks side on the Spurs. Sorry about that. But back to Anthony Black. 28th and 29th ranked defense to the shooting guard position from the Jazz. I had a concern that maybe with Jalen Suggs back into the lineup, like I said in the last video, that there might be less of responsibility or utilization from Anthony Black. But nope, he's still seeing high minutes. Yes, low 30s, but these were relative blowouts, blowout. And I think this was a blowout, but he came back at some point. In terms of the minutes that he's getting, he's still seeing those high minutes. If he would just notch him down to like 25 minutes, this is still something that he's hitting in the last 10 games. Yes, it's a 50-50. But again, there are blowouts that are here. If we look at how effective he is shooting, I mean, only 9% made one shot attempt from 11, 5 attempts from 16, 4 attempts from 12, 5 from 11. Again, that's comparable if he's still hitting those. Jalen Suggs being back in the lineup doesn't concern me too much, even though he did just have a triple double. I did want to take Jalen Suggs points and assists. That is a notch higher at 22.5, but after not necessarily a career night, but was it a triple double from Jalen Suggs? I'm pretty sure it was a triple double. Yeah, I have to think there's going to be some natural regression coming in. With that being said, let's go back into someone who not necessarily he's not young, he's not a rookie. I think this is his second year in the league, but Anthony Black, seeing more of a role, still seeing the high minutes, cemented himself into this Magic lineup, especially with Tyus Jones gone. He's going to start out with the first unit. He's going to be playing at that shooting guard position. And in terms of the volume that we're seeing in general, again, he's still taking up 10 to 14 shots. If it's somewhat of an efficient night from him, it's just within the mean for him. It's not outside of the realm of possibility in a soft matchup. There is a blow concern. But at the same time, the Magic are notorious for making games that they should win handedly as stressful as possible. So if we go over to props madness, if we just look at the zones that he likes to score in, Anthony Black, again, very efficient scorer. He can go in a plethora of ways and get his bucket. He can go to the rim, which he likes to do at 43% of the time. And while there are lesser shooting splits in that around that paint and outside the paint, I mean inside the perimeter, you I can live with 19 shots and from above the break, of course. He is a catch and shoot guy when it needs to be. He can shoot from any sort of way, and we look at the defensive zones, and this is why I said I'm okay with him taking just under 20% of his shots from just outside the paint within the perimeter, because the Jazz, again, middle and defense very poor across a lot of metrics. Yes, and while at right under the rim, where he likes to score the 43% of his shots, Yes, they are a top 10 defense in that zone to the shooting guard position. I don't want to look too definitively into that. There are some metrics you can look at, of course. This is going across the season, so this does encompass when Walker Kessler did initially play. This does encompass when Nurkic plays, and when it's a fishing night from the Utah Jazz. Yes, Jaren Jackson Jr. is slated to play tonight. Um, I'm not too sure how many minutes he's going to play. If Utah is saying that they're not going to rebuild, they're content with the unit that they have and they want to see what they can do. I mean, the West is always going to be tight and competitive. You can't really fall too far out of possibility. You just need a run here and there. But even if Jaren Jackson does see comparative minutes today, I mean, we can just go look towards the Berlin and London games just less than a month ago when the Grizzlies played the Orlando Magic. He will play most of his time on Banchero, on Bane. Suggs wasn't healthy for those games. Franz Wagner was, but I think there's less defensive attention on the likes of Anthony Black although yes, I did just counteract and say that Darren Jackson would probably be defending places where I would expect Black to get assists to the likes of Banchero and Bane. This is his first game, and it's not as if the Jazz are a contender. I'm not too sure how much I want to look into this. Yes, this is a very interesting front court of Ace Bailey, Laurie Markkinen, and Jaren Jackson Jr. In the foreseeable future. I can see this being very daunting, and if it develops well, the Jazz might have something there. I just don't think it's going to be today. And again, those three guys have nothing to do with Anthony Black. Of course, they may have to go into the play of Desmond Bane and Paolo Banchero, but then I am perfectly fine with this bet living or dying with Anthony Black falling within him getting within that 15 to 17 points that he's projected to get. And he's on 5 assists, which is a low line. I wanted to take the assist by alone, but I'm just thinking, you know what? Points and assists have been reliable for me for Anthony Black on this series. I've only done it one time, but personally, with me betting it, soft matchup, head to head against the Jazz. He's only played one time this season. He's got over this line. A game before that, I don't think he saw minutes like that. Well, yes, he did see 31 minutes. In terms of shots, he only took 7 shots. He's taken almost double that now. We look at the zones he likes to shoot in. Like I said again in the last video, I thought his usage would go down. He's still seeing around the low 20% usage rate. If we just pump him up to 18 or 19 even, he's still hitting this in 11 out of 15 games this season. If we reset that, I even was concerned, yes, that Jalen Suggs is here. What's going on with that? Jalen Suggs. And we see that he does get that usage of around 19%. Yes, it does look a little bit concerning, but again, Jalen Suggs just had not a career night, but a triple double. If you see his expected minutes, again, a lot of these are from the start of the season. Anthony Black has developed phenomenally well since the turn of the year. If you've watched his performances, if we just reset and just look at points alone, last 15 games, 8 out of 15, which is exactly what I mean from the turn of the year. He has been phenomenal. He's been scoring more. The ball's been in his hands. Even with Jalen Suggs back into the equation, Jalen Suggs is a defensive perimeter guard. If anything, and I just didn't want to come out too strong with too many rebounds and assists. I was looking at Jalen Suggs rebounds and assists, but I balked at it because it's at 12.5. And across the season average, which is 9, I was okay with this. This is 8.5, which is what he usually is at. 7.5 sometimes. I know he just had a triple double. I just couldn't get behind it. So Anthony Black, 21 points and assist. Yes, if you do want to just take 21 again, you could just take the points and rebounds. I mean, 22 points and assists for Anthony Black. If you do just want to take a 21 line, you could take points and rebounds. That's not his role. His job is either to score or to dish it to someone that can score against a soft Utah Jazz to that shooting guard position. I'm perfectly fine with taking this. Anthony Black, 22 points and assist. Again, another prop that is priced fairly well across most of the books. You can get this from around even odds. If you do want to take the juice on 21, is it only prediction apps that have it? Yeah, it's only PrizePicks that has it. FanDuel doesn't have it out yet. Yeah, FanDuel, yeah, 21 and a half points, and this is for Anthony Black. We're halfway through the video. If you're still here, I do appreciate it. I do apologize for last night, but again, I don't want to sound like a broken record coming here and saying sorry for bad nights. Let me just come and give you consistent, hopefully data sensible content with props that either you can fade, you can water down a bit. And if you look at it, a lot of these props do only miss by one or two. I do go by the parlay parlor. I do say play these as straights, and if you do parlay them, play them as straight first. If you do parlay them, you can water them down. There are instances where if you did just give Davion Mitchell, I think, yeah, 7.5 rebounds and assists, maybe with Jalen Brown, you probably wouldn't be able to give him 8.5. That probably would just be minus like 500 territory. But a lot of these spots just miss by one or two. The option might just be there to take a water down. I don't like that in a sense. I like, again, money management. If you play a unit on all of these for as much of the down days we've had, you would still be up. But again, if you are going to parlay, I'll take the alt. All right, over to our second to last prop of the night. We are going over to Los Angeles, and we have the Warriors taking on the Lakers. And I'm just going to take a full game spread. We are 3-0 in spreads now. We had the Knicks first half spread. We had the Raptors first half spread. We had the Trailblazers first half spread. We're going for the full game. We're going to take the Lakers minus 3 points. This opened at 5. It is dropping down because Luka Doncic is out. He picked up an injury against the 76ers. And honestly, I'm taking this. I think this is just too much market reaction. Yes, Luka is out. The Warriors had a great comeback against the Suns last game, but at the same time, Austin Reeves is back. He did see his minutes ramp up a little bit more. He doesn't have any Q tag on, questionable or injury tag on him at all. So, quite frankly, just without Luka Doncic, we're still seeing Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Marcus Smart, who is a defensive dog, Jake LaRavia, who, yes, he picks his nights, but this seems to be the kind of night that we could see Jake LaRavia just do enough. And DeAndre Ayton against Draymond Green. Honestly, those could just be two distractions on themselves alone. That Lakers starting lineup against that Warriors starting lineup. I mean, Pat Spencer, DeAndre Melton, E. Santos. Again, this could just be a most smoothie night and a Draymond Green triple-double from 2015, but I don't know why this isn't 5.5, 4.5, minus 3. I mean, we're talking about a Lakers team that is undefeated in the clutch this season. I think they're 19-0 in clutch games. Yes, this is a quote unquote blockbuster game, but the Warriors, I mean, no Curry. Kuminga is gone. Yes, you do have a Pazensky that could come off the bench and facilitate pretty well, but I have to scratch my head and wonder why this is a 3-point spread, and it's priced phenomenally right now. If this goes down if it keeps going down, if somehow this keeps going down, I don't see a world in which, unless there is another questionable tag for like LeBron maybe, but there's nothing here. If this goes down to 1.5, hammered is at 2.5, hammered is at 3.5, hammered is at what it opened at 5, quite frankly. I mean, I wanted to take a LeBron prop because, again, he does seem to do well in these blockbuster games. 37.5 PRA is too high to his season average. Again, yes, he is averaging 50 PRA against the Warriors. This could be a LeBron James night, one of the last LeBron James nights. If that's going to be the case, give me the Lakers minus 3 points. I can't get behind a Warriors plus 3. I'm sorry. Again, maybe I could just be trying to go for old reliable, just like with Anthony Black. I'm 3-0 on spreads, but if that's the case, Let me take a spread I'm comfortable with. Priced around the same on all the bucks. If you have no vig in your state, you can get this at close to plus money. Take it. I don't like to give free money or say this is free money, but the Lakers are winning tonight. I'm gonna watch this game. I'm not gonna watch this on the stream. I have League Pass. I'm sorry, it's gonna be on ABC actually, so I can watch this on cable. I will be watching this game live. I'm not gonna have to check Real or FanDuel for live stats. The Lakers -3. Let's go. I mean, I first was initially looking at the first half spread, to be honest with you, because again I am 3-0 on first half spreads. I didn't want to I just didn't want to again bang all reliable, but again, minus the point, -3 for plus money. Take that spread. I'm sorry. I hate to pivot in a live video. I just again, Luca is out, but Luca, even on nights when you expect Luca to have a blockbuster night, he can be pretty streaky. Austin Reeves is back. This is his second game back in LA. 25 minutes back. I think he had 20 points. He had a couple threes, a bunch of assists. Um, Warriors, Lakers. It's always a good matchup, especially when LeBron plays. No Curry, no Butler, no Kuminga. I just don't see a world in which the Warriors win this outright. And to cap that off, we are going to go to another old reliable, Ty Jerome. Sorry about that. Let me get the filter on props madness for Ty Jerome. Like I said, old reliable. We are going to take him for 20 points and assist. This has gone down from 20.5 points and assists because this is quite maybe his toughest matchup to date from coming back. You could say the back-to-back against the or the head-to-head against the doubleheader. We could say against the Timberwolves was probably harder. But we do have the Trailblazers on a back-to-back. These two teams played each other just last night. Ty Jerome did not play. It was assumed that he was going to get some rest as he has played 3 games in a row. If it's expected that he's going to see the same 20 minutes that he has been seeing from the last 3 games that he's come out here, and in terms of I won't say tired Trailblazers team, but again, they played just last night. They did cover their spread. I think they won by 12 or 13. The spread is again, I want to say 9.5, 8.5. Ty Jerome coming back in, I don't think it moves the needle as much for the Grizzlies to win this game outright or to be as competitive, but maybe to stay in it. But again, in the last 3 games that we've seen from Ty Jerome, let's just condense this down. Let's not look at Cleveland at the Cleveland era. He comes in and his job is just, hey, how warm are you? Where are you at? And he's been proving that he's there. Again, he's been doing what we saw at the tail end of last year. We can ignore those 2 games against the Pacers when the Cavaliers capitulated. But Ty Jerome is coming out here. He's shooting and he's being efficient. He's shooting at a minimum 50% clip. I mean, 71% against the Kings, but again, soft matchup. But 50 and 60% against the Timberwolves in 20 minutes. And then a potential assist. I mean, we have an assist line of 4.5 is what I really want to take, but what I want to take as well. But it's choose that -130 when you can just take the higher volume for a guy who is coming back. Yes, tough-ish matchup. And when we look at the point guard position and shooting guard, depending on where he does want to play, and again, Ty Jerome in 20 minutes, he's just out here hooping just to see where he's at in his recovery. We have a bottom 10 defense in both metrics, bottom 10 and middle 15, middle 10 defense in the league to points and assists to the shooting guard. When we look at where he likes to do the majority of his shooting, Ty Jerome, he's a ball getter. I won't say a ball dominant player or a ball hog per se. He's just efficient. He's just great to play. He's just great to watch play. I'm not saying that just because he's cashed us out the last 2 times he's taken him, but just in general, Ty Jerome, even from the Cleveland time, he's just a guy you'd like to see off the bench. He seems like he plays with that chip off the shoulder. And then we look at the defense.
In terms of where the zones are, Tyrone likes to score from everywhere. 12 from just right outside the paint. I'm not looking at that too much but from above the break and going in and creating his own shot. Bottom 10 and middle 10, and even on the lower spectrum of that from the Trailblazers. If we look at the usage that he's getting, I mean, he's seen 30%, he's averaging 30% usage. This is notches down. Let's just say he's doing 20. Well, again, he hasn't had a game with usage like that at all anyway, so we can't even filter this out too much. Again, the metric is out assist 4.5, points is active 16. Let's just take the points and assist. It's gone. It looks like it's gone up now. I will still take this at close to even money. The idea is take it until it doesn't cash for us. Ty Jerome, points and assist, 20. You can get this at 21.5 on FanDuel now. I guess let me refresh outlier. They tend to be pretty up to date. Yeah, 21.5 on FanDuel. If you do want to just take the 20.5, you can get it at a juice minus 150 on DraftKings. It looks like the market's waking up. With that being said, if you're still here after 30 or so minutes, I do appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch me or listen to me ramble about props. Like I'll always close this off with, please gamble responsibly. Gamble what you're willing to lose. Only wager what you're not gonna miss tomorrow. And like I'll always say, may the odds be ever in your favor. Please tell me what you're rocking with, what you're not rocking with from today's card. Help me, help you, help me make us some money. Have a blessed day. Peace out.